This video is about applying the properties of Pythagorean theorem. So Pythagorean theorem works in a right triangle, so we need to understand the sides of a right triangle. So the hypotenuse is the side of the triangle that is across from the right angle. The hypotenuse is always the longest side of a right triangle. This should make sense because our right angle is the biggest angle in the triangle, so our hypotenuse has to be the largest side. The legs then are the sides that form the right triangle, so we always have two legs. In Pythagorean theorem, we can use Pythagorean theorem to find the side length of a right triangle. So Pythagorean theorem only works in right triangles. Pythagorean theorem is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Another way to think about this is hypotenuse squared equals leg squared plus leg squared. Your hypotenuse is always going to be the side across from the right angle, and it is always going to be by itself in the equation. So use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side length. So in number one, across from the right angle is the x, so this is going to be our hypotenuse. So we would have x squared equals 12 squared plus 5 squared. So we get x squared equals 169. When we take the square root of both sides, we get x equals 13. In number two, across from the right angle is 29, which is our hypotenuse. So we have 29 squared equals x squared plus 21 squared. So 29 squared is 841 equals x squared plus 441. We can, in this case, we can't take the square root first. We need to get the x squared by itself. So we are going to subtract 144 from both sides, 141 from both sides. So we get 400 equals x squared. When we take our square root, x is 20. In number three, across from the right angle is our hypotenuse of 50. So 50 squared equals 30 squared plus x squared. So we get 2,500 equals 900 plus x squared. We can subtract 900 from both sides. 1,600 equals x squared. When we take our square root, x is. In number four, when we go to do the Pythagorean theorem, 51 is across from the right angle, so 51 squared equals x squared plus 45 squared. So we have 2,601 equals x squared plus 2,025. So we can subtract 2,025 from both sides. So we get x squared equals 576 when we take the square root of both sides. We get x equals 24. In number five, our hypotenuse across from the right angle is x. So we have x squared equals 3 squared plus 6 squared. X squared is equal to 45. Now, when we go take the square root of 45, 45 is not a perfect square, so we're going to need to use a factor tree to break it down. So two numbers that multiply to 45 are 5 and 9. Two numbers that multiply to 9 are 3 and 3. So we have a pair of 3's and a 5 left over, so it would be 3 root 5. In number 10, in number 6, our hypotenuse is 10. So 10 squared equals x squared plus 5 squared. 100 equals x squared plus 25. We can subtract 25 from both sides. 75 equals x squared. We take our square root. Again, we're going to have to break down 75. So two numbers that multiply 75 are 3 and 25. Two numbers that multiply 25 are 5 and 5. So we have 5 root 3 is equal to x. Pause the video and try the U-Try problems on your own. Check your answers. If you need more time, pause the video. So building on Pythagorean theorem, now we're going to look at figures where there are two triangles with a shared side and multiple variables. So instead of just solving for one side, we now need to find x and y. So in number one, the triangle that has two sides is the triangle we want to start with. So we're going to start with this triangle here. Across from the right angle is 13. So we would have 13 squared equals 5 squared plus x squared. So as we solve, we get 169 is equal to 25 plus x squared. We can subtract 25 from both sides, so 144 is equal to x squared. When we take our square root, x is 12. So now that we know that side is 12, we can solve for y using the second triangle. So if we have our right angle, the hypotenuse is 20, so 20 squared equals 12 squared plus y squared. 400 equals 144 plus y squared. We can subtract 144 from both sides, so 256 equals y squared. When we take our square roots, y is 16. In number 2, the triangle that has two sides is 15, 17, and x. So we're going to start with the triangle on the right. The hypotenuse in this case is 17. So we have 17 squared equals x squared plus 15 squared. So we get 289 equals x squared plus 225. We can subtract 225 on both sides. So 64 equals x squared. Take our square root. So x is 8. And then to solve for y, we have our right angle with y being the hypotenuse. So y squared equals 6 squared plus 8 squared. Y squared equals 100. So when we take the square root of both sides, y is 10. Pause the video and try the U-Try problems on your own. Check your answers. If you need more time, pause the video.